apologies for the wind during this video and also the video being cut short. Good evening everybody, and thanks for tuning back in with me tonight. It's October, guys. It's October the, what's the date? Oops. It's October the 5th. So I wasn't going to fish tonight, and I was going to fish and I wasn't going to fish. Haven't fished for about a week or so now, which is unusual for me, but I have been a little bit under the weather. I have been out since my last video. I had a session on the bass. I had 5 bass. It was a funny old session. There was nothing throughout the day or the evening, all the way up to high water. As soon as high water hit and the first half an hour of the flood, I had 5 bass to around the 3.5 pound mark. So yeah, that was quite a half decent session. That was last Sunday. That was the last time I was out. Sunday, I think it was, or Saturday, something like that. I can't even remember now, to be honest with you. It's now Thursday night, and again, it's blowing an absolute hoolie here on Anglesey. It's blowing a gale. We've got 60 mile an hour, steady 50, 60 mile an hour winds. So filming is going to be a little bit difficult, guys, but I'm going to try and do a little bit for you, just to try and keep the channel active and to keep you all updated on what's going on, really. Like I say, it's blowing a gale. There's a bit of rain. It's now 8 PM, just gone 2 minutes past. It's an hour and 20 minutes off low water, 26-foot tide, and I'm going to take a gamble tonight. It's October the 5th. 3 weeks a bit too early, maybe 2-3 weeks a bit too early, but I've got a couple of gullies just down there that I get some codling. In one of my earlier videos, I think it was January time, maybe February time, I had a nice Anglesey cod and a nice bass. That video's on there if you want to skip back and have a look. Tonight's fishing is going to start off one rod, and I'll be bouncing about from gully to gully, so I'll be holding the rod most of the time. Filming is going to be really difficult. Literally 50-yard chucks into gullies, trying to see if I can get a fish right on the bottom of the tide and the first hour of the flood. If I'm feeling in the mood for it, I might go and fish somewhere a little bit later. But for now, guys, keep tuned. Let me get my gear on, get down on the beach. I'll bring you back. Not sure what it's going to be like, sound effect and stuff with the wind, but I'll bring you back. We'll have a little chat, maybe see some fish, maybe see lots of weed, who knows. Keep tuned. Right then, guys, I'm down on the beach. First gully that I've put the bait in. Sorry the footage isn't absolutely great down here tonight. The picture isn't clear, but when I'm fishing these sort of gullies, to be honest with you, I've never done filming when I'm sort of fishing these gullies. I try not to, because one of the reasons is I don't like to put a light on the water too much. Anyway, I've got a bait out. This first gully that I've stopped at, it's very sandy for the first 50-60 yards, and with this much water in it, even though the tide's ebbing, you'll get fish sitting this side of the kelp on the sand, and they're literally just picking the last bits of bait up that's coming off the beach on the ebb before the fish actually drop back into the kelp. So I've put a bait out there, and what I've done with it being the first bait and I'm fishing onto the sand before the kelp in the gully, is I've put a 2 up, 1 down, and I'm fishing small baits. Now this isn't something I do all the time when I'm fishing these gullies. It is basically just something that I do when I'm fishing the sand before the kelp. And as I say, you do get fish sitting, and they'll hold right on this side of the kelp right until that water gets just too shallow, and then they'll drop back into the kelp, and they're just picking up the last bits of bait that's falling down the beach with the ebbing tide. So let me flick you around quickly. It's just the one rod, and I do a lot of fishing in the winter months, just one rod bouncing about like this. So that there is on, like I say, a 2 up, 1 down, small baits with a rolling lead, and it's literally bouncing a little bit left and right. The gully is only about 20 yards wide, and the kelp's most probably about 60 yards from where I am. Yeah, that's a slackliner there then, a little bit of a slackliner. Yeah, the kelp's about 60 yards from where I am, and then, like I say, sometimes you get the fish holding. But my next cast, I'll cast it into the kelp, and what I've done for that one is I got a black lug, half a black lug, and a bit of squid on there, and that's on a pulley rig, but keeping it a short pulley rig. Start again, a short pulley rig, because literally I want the bait to be within the kelp. That's on a 60-pound body and a 50-pound snood, which is quite light for this type of fishing, but it's not heavy kelp here in Anglesey like you get on the east coast and places like that. And you can pull out of it most of the time, so he says. Just click that on there because I don't like to leave my bait sitting in the sand, and I want to show you what baits I've got. It's a pitch black place, this, guys. Proper pitch black place. So yeah, literally fishing light as possible. As I say, I'm on the move around these gullies. In the bag I got a couple of wraps of fresh black, hermit crab, some squid. Like I say, this was a last decision to get out, so I wasn't in the mood, but anyway, I'm out. I got some frozen squid, which is still frozen solid. Got some mackerel in there, which will attract doggies, but sometimes it's good. Did I put anything else in? No, that was it. So I got some hermit, some squid, and I've got one pack of fresh black, which is like yesterday's pump, and I got some week-old black as well, which is now sticky black, which can be good at times. Yeah, it's a nice little venue, this, to be honest with you. I've had a lot of fish off this over the years. It does chuck up some good bass as well. It is a bit early for here, but we'll give it a go. Could be plagued with doggies, or there could be absolutely nothing, who knows. I'm walking around on my knees here. Yeah, something you do, is it? I'm just trying to keep the mic, the phone out of the wind as much as I possibly can. Just tighten that up. Yeah, it's just the lead moving. There's actually no fish. There's no bite action on there, you know. So anyway, what I'm going to do, like I say, I want to keep as much light off the water as possible. I don't think it affects the cod fishing too much, but it definitely affects if there's any big bass down there. There's something having a little nibble at it. So I'm going to put you down and give me 5 minutes. I'll check this one, I'll check the other one out, eh? Well guys, I'm a few casts in now since the camera's last been on, and I'm down towards the kelp a little bit more. Now, I had two concerns about fishing here tonight. The biggest concern was the weed. I thought there would be tons of weed here because we're at the start of the winter months, so all that summer weed is breaking up, dying and blowing inshore. So I thought the weed would be problem number one. Problem number two, I honestly thought there'd be tons of dogfish here. Now, I think I'm into about 4 or 5 casts since the camera's last been on, and I haven't had a bite. Not a single bite. Now, I was showing you the bait that I had earlier with me, and I thought I'd put something else in there, which I have, because I've just had a bit of a route through, and I got some sand eel in the box, well, in the cooler bag there. I thought I'd put something else in when I was getting bait out of the freezer. Now, sometimes when there's nothing happening like this, I'll put a fishy bait like this out, like a sand eel bait or a chunk of mackerel. Now, again, I know it attracts doggies like mad, but it does just sometimes help you have an inkling of if there's absolutely anything out there. Now, I'm not saying if you don't catch something, there's nothing out there, but I do find at times a bait like this will get you a fish. So I'm going to put this on the pulley, and I'm going to whack it right out into the kelp at the bottom of the gully, which I would say now is about 45 yards, so it ain't far, but yeah, I'm going to whack it out there. I have got the rod out at the moment behind me, but as I've mentioned before, I don't want to be putting my lamp all over the water here. It's only a small gully. If I don't get anything here in the next 2 or 3 casts, I'll walk down the beach about 200 yards to another gully, which will sometimes make the difference. So there we are, we've got the sand eels. I'm going to cut the head off one of them. I've put 3 on there, cut the head off one of them, leave the head on 2. On a big hook, but go big or go home. No, I really thought there'd be loads of doggies here tonight, guys. So it's a good thing there's not, because if there's any other fish there, it's giving the bait a chance. But it's a little bit strange that there's not, if that makes sense. But they could be there and they could just turn on the flood. So let's not jinx myself too fast, eh? Anyway, that's the pulley. When I said I'm on a short pulley, I'm on a pulley rig, you know, 3 foot, 2.5, 3 foot pulley. So really short, keeping the bait right down, because when you are looking for codling, I do find a short pulley, keeping the bait right close to the bottom, does help. But again, that does attract the dogfish. I know this sort of fishing isn't for everybody, guys. It's not chilled out, sat in your box, relaxing fishing, but it can be really good with silks. So anyway, turn the camera off, keep an eye on the rod, and if anything happens, I'll bring you back. Well, I said the sandy old bait would find out if there's anything out there, and there we are. It found out if there's something out there. So at least I know there's fish there. I'll get it unhooked, I'll get it back, and I'll bring it straight back. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I think that explains that then. 5 to 1 in the morning, back in the car, and yeah. I knew it was a gamble from the moment I said I was going to go down there and try that mark. It's a bit early in the year for there, but do you know what? I thought I'd give it a go, see if I could get that first codling of the year. It was a gamble that didn't pay off, like most gambles, eh? No, it's just fishing. It just shows the conditions were absolutely perfect. The fish weren't there, or they just weren't feeding, or they definitely weren't after what I was offering them. So I'm going to go home, get some kip. Friday is here. We've got a local match run by Winnie's Worms or Holyhead, which I hope to fish if I can get stuff together by time. I think it's on Kemlyn Beach tonight, or tomorrow night, or however you want to look at it. Friday night, yeah, hope to fish that. I won't do any video for that because Anglesey Tight Liners, Katie on Paddy usually does a video on that, and there's no point in us both doing a video on the same thing, or on the same match even. Anyway, guys, check his channel out if you want to have a look at that, whatever. There's lots of other good channels out there as well. Do check them out. And yeah, hopefully I can bring you back with a bit of a better video sometime, eh? I know Alex from Awful Angler has got a bit of a trip planned, or he's doing a bit of fishing anyway, so I look forward to seeing his video. And yeah, I'll give a few of the lads a mention in my next videos that I follow. But until next time, guys, keep safe, keep fishing, keep chasing them dreams.